Hey everyone, welcome to the Morning Grind podcast. I'm your host, Stevietpfl. It's Friday. It is May 16th. It is 2025. We have a 12-game MLB slate to talk about here on today's podcast. Huge slate, a lot of games to get through, a lot to talk about. I feel like these Friday slates are always a lot of fun because we typically get a ton of games to talk about. So hope everyone's having a fantastic Thursday night over there in YouTube. So little later show. I typically get a chance to look at like baseball slates before I leave to go coach and stuff that I do on Thursday nights. And I just didn't have time today throughout the day to get that chance. And I like to research before I do the podcast. I don't like to come on here and just talk nonsense. So I like to have an idea of what I like. So for the last 45 minutes or so, I've been researching the slate and figured it wouldn't be too big of a thing. So appreciate everyone that's hanging out live and ready to break down this massive 12-game slate. A lot of games to get through here. Derek says Stevie coordinated his hat and shirt is a flex. Like, listen, all right. It was sitting here, and I knew what shirt I had on. One of my volleyball shirts on, and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna match." Right? That is exactly how it went down. So. Yeah, the Brewers were really, really good for us last year. So I had bought a minor league Brewers hat last year. That's what this is. It's the Nashville Sounds, I think, but this is a Nashville hot chicken hat. So, it's funny. I get so many DMs and messages when I talk about minor league hats of people wanting me to look at certain hats, and then I get people that want to send me hats. So always fun, always a good time with the minor league baseball hats. But we have a 12-game slate, so we have a lot to talk about today. Let's just jump in. It's gonna be a long one, and might as well get started here and have some fun. We get started. Washington at Baltimore, 9 total in this game. Pick'em game. Mackenzie Gore, Cade Povich in this one. I was a little surprised by this game being a pick'em. I know Baltimore's offense is really good, but I feel like Gore is the much better pitcher in this situation. Mackenzie Gore is a much better pitcher than Cade Povich. So I was a little thrown off. Mackenzie Gore on the season sitting at 35% strikeouts. His strikeout stuff has been awesome. He's shown a lot of upside. He struggles with home runs. He is a guy that has given up 5 home runs over his last 3 starts, and he's going to strike out people. So if he could keep the ball in the ballpark, he has some upside. And this lineup is not the best lineup in the world against left-handed pitching. So I have some slight interest in Mackenzie Gore today. I like his strikeout potential here. Baltimore's 7th highest strikeouts against left-handed pitching this season. They are 30th in ISO against left-handed pitching, which is dead last, and they're 29th in WRC plus. So I was a little thrown off by this being a pick'em game because I really think Gore is clearly better than Povich, and I think that he could put up a really solid outing here. He struck out 8 and scored 22 DK points against this team, less than a month ago. Was it 4 weeks ago? So I like him a lot. Other side of this game, Cade Povich. I mean, Cade Povich is not very good. Sitting at 18.5% strikeouts on the season. He's done a good job of limiting power to lefties, but continues to struggle with right-handed power. The thing is, this lineup is the power in this lineup is very left-handed. So maybe that's why the line is what it is, because, this is not the worst matchup in the world for Povich because they don't have a lot of right-handed power in this lineup. Josh Bell throughout his career has had power when he's hit from the right side of the plate, but even this year it's way down. Alex Call is really solid against righties. But like Ahmed Rosario is like okay, and he's such a good. He still does a good job of limiting power to lefties. So like Abrams and Wood, while they have power against lefties, I think I'd prefer Povich over those two. But I just don't. I don't think this is necessarily the worst spot in the world for Cade Povich if you wanted to like take a punt pitcher because they don't have a lot of right-handed power. They're going to have some lefties in the lineup, which is going to benefit him. So as much as I'm like, hey, I don't typically play this guy, he might be like the cheap pivot off of Chad Patrick today. I think Chad Patrick is going to be like your cheaper SP2 type of situation. So I think he could potentially be that pivot off of Patrick. If you're just, I mean, if you're playing large field tournaments and you want to take a shot on Povich, I don't think it's the craziest idea. As far as the bats, I mean, I have interest in Rosario. Like I said, he hits left-handed pitching well enough, and should hit up towards the top of the lineup at 3,800. Alex Call at 3,900 on DK. Like those are the two righties that I'm definitely going to have some exposure to. But I'm not going out of my way to play Washington. I don't think that it's the best matchup in the world because, again, Povich does a good job of limiting power to lefties, and they don't have a lot of right-handed power in this lineup. So just kind of looking at it, they're dealing with some injuries. Washington, that is, they're dealing with some injuries here as well. So maybe I know they just called Trey Lipscomb up. Maybe he starts here in this game. I don't have his Luis Castillo got put on the paternity list, so maybe let's see what Trey Lipscomb has been doing in AAA this season. Let's see real quick. AAA this year, he has a couple doubles, a couple home runs. ISO's under 100. He's not a big power guy. He has stolen base upside though. That's the whole reason I'm like bringing him up because he does have stolen base upside. He's 2,700, and he should play in this game. So if you need like a cheaper option here, Lipscomb is a guy that has some speed. So I always like to target speed when I'm looking for cheaper bats. As far as the Baltimore bats, one of the reasons that I really like Mackenzie Gore here is like none of these guys are hitting left-handed pitching well. They're not going to be able to get all the left-handed hitters out of this lineup, and he's been striking out lefties at a huge clip this season. So, yeah, I mean, Gore against left-handed hitters this year, 40.7% strikeouts. So, big strikeout upside here, and I think like they're going to leave Gunnar Henderson in there. They're not going to be able to get all the outfielders out of there either with their lefties. Jackson Holiday probably plays. So, yeah, I mean, he might get 4 lefties here, maybe 5. So I like the potential a lot for Gore. I don't really have a ton of interest in Baltimore. Nothing like jumping off the page to me here. Subway Series, Mets, Yankees, 9 total in this game. The Yankees are a 142 favorite. Taylor McGill against Carlos Rodon. I mean, starting here, visiting pitcher McGill, going into Yankee Stadium, getting a ballpark downgrade, obviously pitching in Yankee Stadium. He has not been terrible this year. Like his strikeout stuff has actually been really solid. He's sitting at 29.5% on the season, but a lot of his advanced stats suggest there's some regression coming to the strikeout numbers. It's not sustainable with the whiff rate and swinging strike rate that he has. So I just worry a little bit about the matchup and like, where he's at on the season strikeout wise. Maybe you take some shots here because I mean, the Yankees have plenty of strikeouts in this lineup, but like they just got DJ LeMahieu back and he's typically a lower strikeout hitter. So yeah, I mean, overall for me, I probably don't get to McGill today, but I wouldn't necessarily talk you off of it. I just don't like some of the advanced stats that I was looking at for like swinging strikes and whiff rates because think there's some negative regression coming to his 29.5% strikeout rate on the season, but he's been pitching really well. So if this game was in Citi Field, I'd probably have a little bit more interest in him than with this game being in Yankee Stadium. Other side of this game, Carlos Rodon. I mean, he has been awesome strikeout wise this year too. He's sitting at 31%. I mean, you look at it, and his last 6 starts, he's had at least 7 strikeouts in 5 of those. So, yeah, I mean, overall for me, I'll play him against anybody. I don't necessarily love the matchup against the Mets, but I definitely prefer left-handed pitching against this team than right-handed pitching. I will say, like, Alonso, Vientos, they're scary. They're good against left-handed pitching. So he might give up a home run or two, but I think that he has plenty of strikeout upside in this one. As far as the bats for the Mets, I mean, it's the 2 guys I just said, Alonso and Vientos. They're both solid against left-handed pitching. Pete Alonso is just good against everybody. If Torrens is in there, he's typically really good against lefties, but I don't know if he'll catch over Alvarez here. So I think Carlos Rodon has a lot of strikeout upside. I don't necessarily love the Mets in this game. As far as the Yankees, like, again, McGill, he really hasn't pitched bad this season. You know, he's a pretty good ground ball pitcher. He does give up a lot of hard contact to like right-handed power bats. That's where he has struggled in the past. So, you know, if you want to take some shots on Aaron Judge, you can always do that. I will say Trent Grisham has been awesome this season. I bet his base props a lot, his total bases a lot. And like, I was so tilted yesterday. He crushed a ball, and I can't think of who. Somebody robbed him. Oh my gosh, from Seattle. Why can't I think of his name right now? Julio Rodriguez, man, robbed him of a home run, which crushed my bet for him because he struck out, I think, 3 times after that. So Trent Grisham has been awesome this season. When Dominguez plays, he's been awesome this season. So you're always going to be able to take shots on the Yankees on any slate. They have so much upside, and they're in this ballpark. They have one of the highest implied team totals for a reason today. Good spot for them. Detroit at Toronto, 8 total in this one. We got Flaherty going up against Bowden Francis. We'll start here, as always, with the visiting pitcher, Jack Flaherty. Man, this guy, last year we saw a lot of upside from him, and a lot of his advanced stats look really good. You look at some of his advanced stats, and you're like, why isn't he pitching better? And I don't know the answer to the question. I've done a deep dive on him multiple times, and I can't figure it out. His whiff rate is like 30.8%. His K rate's almost 29%. His xWOBA is really high. His x slugging is really high. So he's getting hit hard, almost 5% higher than he was at last season. His pitch mix is very similar. It's fastball, slider, curveball. That's what he was last year. Doesn't use a changeup very often, just like last year. So I'm just struggling with him. The only thing that I will say on Flaherty, and it shouldn't make like a huge deal. Like Flaherty his velocity is slightly down. It's like it's so minimal, but it's slightly down, and his fastball is just getting hit a lot harder than it was last year. His xWOBA on his fastball last year was 328. His xWOBA on his fastball this season is 456. It's a huge jump. So that is the only thing that I can see for Jack Flaherty is his whiff rate and stuff on his fastball is down. It was such a good pitch last year, and it's been such a bad pitch for him this year. Run value on it last season was 6. It's like -5 this year. That's a huge decrease. So I was like, I did everything I could to like look and try to figure out like spin. I mean, it's so similar. The only thing like is it's down a little bit of ticks in the mile an hour department, like 0.5, but it's getting hit hard. I mean, he's fastball's getting absolutely hammered this year. So all this to say, like some of the advanced stats that I've seen from Flaherty, hate some of the like advanced stats that I've seen from him. Toronto's a low strikeout team. They put the ball in play a lot. They have a lot of patient hitters at the top half of this lineup. He's 8K. I think in tournaments, you could definitely trust some of the data and be like, man, like his strikeout stuff, it's still the potential of his strikeout stuff is still there. His slider and his curveball, like his slider has a 38% whiff rate and his curveball's at like 52%. Like, I would just stop throwing as many fastballs and just throw the breaking stuff. So I mean, I think you could take some tournament shots. But we'll talk about the bats in a second, too. Other side of this one, we got Bowden Francis pitching for Toronto. Bowden Francis, like his strikeout rate was really solid last season against righties. This year, he's just really struggled just in general. He's been awful against lefties, 315 ISO, 370 WOBA. Giving up a ton of fly balls. His hard contact rate is extremely high. So this is a guy that I don't necessarily want to play. I have some interest in these Detroit bats. As you all know, starting with my boy Riley Green and Kerry Carpenter. I like the Detroit lefties in this spot. Again, Francis has really struggled with lefties. So I probably make some mini stacks here with Carpenter, Green, maybe a little bit of Colt Keith in there as well. I like the lefties a lot here for Detroit. As far as the Toronto bats, again, like Flaherty is getting hit very, very hard when he's throwing fastballs. And Varsho, Bichette, and Springer hit fastballs very well. All three of them hit fastballs very well. Vlad struggles with fastballs. He was a little bit better against fastballs last year, but he's really struggled with fastballs this year. Varsho, Bichette, and Springer, all very much in play. I don't think I'd stack Toronto in this spot, but I think you definitely want to have some exposure to those three guys, whether it be one-offs or two-man stacks, but I think you chase the fastball home runs with those three guys. I love pitch data. I talk about it all the time. So another ball player in the household, Aaron. My little one plays baseball. Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts just got pulled from the game in a 13-2 game in the fourth. It's crazy. Dodgers, man, they can score runs in bunches. All right, this is the game that I am very excited to watch. I'm going to prop my feet up on the couch and watch this baseball game. This is going to be fun to watch. We got Atlanta at Boston, 8 total. Boston, a 125 favorite. We got Chris Sale going up against Garrett Crochet. I always start with the visiting pitcher here. So, going to start with Chris Sale. It's been a hit or miss season for him. He's shown recently that he still has plenty of upside. He still has plenty left in the tank. He's sitting at 30% Ks on the season. His whiff rate is incredibly high. His BABIP is so incredibly high. I talked a lot about this. I feel like against Cincinnati. So you're just looking at it and you're like, man, eventually this guy's going to start getting a little luckier and stop getting so unlucky. Like a 392 BABIP is extremely high. So that's going to come down, and some of his numbers are going to come down. The fact that he still has a bunch of strikeout upside, that helps him. The matchup against Boston, we just saw Scoble absolutely dominate the Red Sox. What do you have, 11 strikeouts on, was it Wednesday? So we just saw that happen. They have some upside against left-handed pitching with like Bregman, Refsnyder, Campbell, Trevor Story has been notoriously good against lefties throughout his career. But I think Sale, ceiling wise, upside wise, price wise, he can go 25 plus at 8,900. That's fantastic. So, yeah, I'm interested in some Chris Sale today. Garrett Crochet against Atlanta just screams great matchup. He has so much upside, especially against the bottom half of this lineup. If he can kind of get around like Austin Riley and Marcell Ozuna here, sign me up. I mean, his strikeout upside is massive in this spot. So I like both of these guys. I think both of these guys are top end pitcher plays on the slate. Garrett Crochet, his strikeout upside is just massive. Like, he was an excellent pickup by my Red Sox. So yeah, I mean, I like both of these guys. When we're looking at like top end pitching, I definitely prefer Crochet over Rodon. I'll talk about Eovaldi in a couple games from now. I do have some interest in Eovaldi today. I'm sure that doesn't really shock anybody. But we also have like some mid-tier like Corbin Burns facing Colorado, which is a really good spot. So Mackenzie Gore, I talked about him against Baltimore. So like the pitching pool today looks really good compared to what we've had the last few days. So as far as bats here, I mean, if you want to one-off like a Riley, Ozuna, Murphy, sure. They do have upside against left-handed pitching, but I don't hate it. And then as far as like on the other side of this one, the Boston side, like if you want to take some shots on like Bregman, Refsnyder, Trevor Story has a lot of power against left-handed pitching. Go for it. So, I mean, overall, I don't think this is a spot you want to play bats. I think this is a spot that you want to play pitchers. I haven't seen that yet. Robert, as far as Roman Anthony getting called up. So Roman Anthony for the Red Sox, by the way, prospect, massive prospect, top prospect in baseball. Huge power, but I don't know if he's, I haven't seen that if he has like that. So if he is, I don't think he's in the player pool. Unless I'm just missing. I'm looking in the player pool, but I don't see him. But he is the top prospect in baseball. So if he did get called up, that would be interesting. I just don't know if this is the spot I would play him. I feel like this is a spot where like Chris Sale would just eat the rookie alive, but who knows? I mean, the kid's really good. Roman Anthony's really good. Guys, did you guys watch the Netflix series with the Red Sox? The documentary Netflix series, so good. Just really cool. I liked it. As a Red Sox fan, obviously I was gonna like it. I thought it was a really cool look inside of like the clubhouse and major league level. So, and Roman Anthony lefty too. So all right, moving on. Tampa Bay at Miami, no total in this game. I thought that was a little interesting. I mean, it's the night before, so sometimes the like totals just don't pop up as fast. But I didn't see like any injury news as far as like pitching. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see it pop up here soon. We got Taj Bradley, Max Meyer facing off against each other in this one. We'll start here with Taj Bradley. His strikeout stuff has really kind of dipped down this year, and like it doesn't look better. Like it, some of the advanced stats, like when you see a drop this much, you're like, oh, maybe he's just having maybe he's just unlucky or something. So it's not that. It's just he's not generating as much whiffs really with the split finger cutter combo as he was last year, and it's more cutter than anything else. And like his curveball was a really good strikeout pitch last year, but his split finger this season is at 20.7. Last year was 33% whiff rate on that pitch, and he's still doing a really good job of like limiting damage and not getting blown up. but I mean, really just hasn't shown a ton of upside. But you look at some of the matchups he's had: Milwaukee recently, he had the Yankees in Yankee Stadium, he faced Kansas City at home, Arizona, and New York. Like he really hasn't had the best matchups outside of having a few really good ones to start the year. So the fact that he's getting a Miami offense that's very beatable. They only have a little bit of power in this lineup with Stowers, Ramirez. Mervis has a little bit of power, but he strikes out so much it doesn't really matter as much. So I have some slight interest in this spot for Taj Bradley as a cheaper option. So many potential pitcher plays already, and there's a couple more guys that I'm going to talk about. So you can definitely, I'm going to keep talking about pitchers that I like and spots that I like. I don't ever shy away from that. I'm just saying, you could definitely play the pitcher ownership game a little bit today. It's not always going to work out, but when it does work out, it's nice. Max Meyer, last time out. Was it last time out that he pitched? Yeah, against oh my gosh. I know I said it probably the next day, but I watched a lot of the start against the White Sox for him, and he got squeezed so much. I bet you the home plate umpire missed 6 to 10 strikes in that game, and one of them was really bad because it led to 2 or 3 runs in an inning. So he got very unlucky last time out. The strikeout stuff has been awesome for him this year. It's at 26.7%. Gets a pretty decent matchup here going up against the Rays. No Diaz. He's out right now as well, which adds to the injuries in this lineup. Maybe Diaz should be back. Yeah. So Diaz will be back. It was because the passport situation going in Toronto. I forgot. So Diaz will be back. So that helps the lineup a little bit. But I think Meyer has tournament upside. Not my favorite play today, but I still believe in the talent. I'm going to keep saying it. I believe in the talent. So any slate that he's pitching on, I'm going to have a little bit of interest. And the fact that this game's in Miami is a nice ballpark upgrade from the AAA ballpark that they're playing in Tampa right now. So that's always nice. As far as the Tampa bats, Meyer has just struggled with power bats just in general. He's done a really good job of generating ground balls, so he's limited that damage a little bit. But where he struggles is lefty fly balls. So if you wanted to take some tournament shots on Brandon Lau, Jonathan Arnanda, those would be the two that I would take some shots on. Brandon Lau has just gotten to the point where he's just too cheap now. I know he had a huge game on Thursday, but realistically, this guy has multiple hits in 3 straight games, and he's 3,500, which is a good price tag. So, and second base is usually a wasteland anyway, so I don't mind him there. The other side here, Taj Bradley, like I said, he's done a really good job of limiting the damage. When he struggles, it's more of right-handed power. So if you wanted to take some shots on a Ramirez at catcher who has some power, I don't hate that at 4K. We know he has some power. Outside of that, one of the reasons that I have both interest in both pitchers here is, I don't really love this game offensively. Ohtani hit another one. Oh, the Dodgers are my favorite stack on this Friday slate, and it's not good ownership-wise that they're going to score 20 runs tonight on Thursday. Another reason that I've been talking a little bit about these cheap pitchers is because I do absolutely love the Dodgers when we get to that game. Just throwing it out there. Yeah. All right, moving on. St. Louis at Kansas City. 8.5 total in this game. Kansas City, a 155 favorite. Andre Palante against Cole Reagans in this one. Always start with the visiting pitcher here. So Palante, he's a ground ball pitcher. He tries to pitch to contact. He has very low strikeout rate. He doesn't really have strikeout ability. That's just not what he's trying to do. He's literally trying to go out there and just generate ground balls. I'm going to pitch to your bat, and I hope you hit the ball on the ground and generate some soft contact. I'm going to take advantage when you're whiffing a little bit, and that's how I'm going to do. But he has a very low swinging strike rate. He has a very low whiff rate. He has a 65% ground ball rate and a 15.6% fly ball rate. He still gives up home runs from time to time, which is crazy. But yeah, I mean, he's really cheap. The matchup against Kansas City, they're going to put the ball in play against him a lot. But can he just limit the damage enough? Here's the thing. I, in tournaments, would take shots on Bradley, Patrick, and probably Povich before I'd play him, and I don't play 150 teams, so I probably don't get to Palante today. But if you're playing 150, if he has a good BABIP game against the Kansas City team, he can get there. My issue is like the strikeout upside is just so limited because it's such a low strikeout matchup to begin with. They put the ball in play a ton. So you're really kind of relying on BABIP and like him pitching 7+ inning, which is very possible. He's really cheap. So if he has a good game, he can definitely get there. The other side, Cole Reagans, man, like we've seen so many different versions of Cole Reagans this year, I feel like. So he has a ton of strikeout ability. We've seen the games where he's had multiple strikeouts. We've seen it. We know it's there. His strikeout rate is incredibly high, especially against right-handed hitters. Problem is, this team is like hit or miss against left-handed pitching. So I think you're taking some tournament shots on Reagans because of what he's capable of. But I don't think you're really like locking into any pitcher on this slate. Like you're going to take some shots. You're going to play a lot of different pitchers on this slate, but I don't think you're like really, I don't think there's a pitcher that I'd play over 50% on this one. I just like the strikeout potential for Reagans. Anytime he takes the hill, he's capable of 30+ points. Bats, St. Louis bats, like Mason Wynn always hits up towards the top of the order against lefties, and he has that nice speed combo. He's cheap. He hasn't been great against lefties this year. He strikes out a ton against them, which doesn't fit really well for Cole Reagans, who has a huge strikeout rate against right-handed hitters this year. I mean, Herrera, excuse me. I think my voice cracked there. Herrera has been awesome against left-handed pitching this season. The catcher, he's just really expensive, so probably don't get much exposure to St. Louis in this one. I don't really have a ton of interest in the Kansas City side of this game too. One of the reasons that like you could take some shots on Palante is because like these bats don't have a ton of upside most of the time. I will say like Vinny P definitely he's definitely more of a fly ball hitter. So like you could potentially take some shots on him against the ground ball pitcher here that doesn't miss bats very often. I don't mind taking some shots on Vinny Pasquantino. You can always take shots on Bobby Witt because he's just so good at baseball. Houston at Texas. 8 total in this game. Texas a 185 favorite. Yeah, 185 favorite. We got Eovaldi going up against Lance McCullers. I don't like McCullers only pitched once, right? Since coming back. I think this is his second start. And his first start wasn't very good, if I remember correctly. So, I mean, Lance McCullers, we didn't see him at all last year. The year before, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, he was getting hit hard, wasn't he? Hold on. I got to pull up his page here. So we haven't seen him since 2022. What? Was he out that long, or did he go pitch overseas or something? Anyway, we haven't seen him since 2022. In 2022, he had a 25.6% K rate. XFIP was 3.58. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else, but I thought he struggled. But Yeah, we haven't seen him pitch in the big since 2022. I don't know what. Well, did he get hurt in spring training or something? I don't remember exactly what happened with Lance McCullers, but he got absolutely shelled in his first start this season against Cincinnati. Or I guess it was his second. I didn't realize he pitched against the White Sox. He pitched okay against the White Sox, but he didn't get out of the first inning against Cincinnati. They crushed him. It was not pretty. So I think I'm going to take the wait and see approach on Lance McCullers. I think that is easily done here against Texas, who they don't really strike out a ton anyway. So I'll take the wait and see approach on him. I don't really have any interest in him. Nathan Eovaldi, I have a ton of interest in this guy. You probably already knew this was coming if you listen every day, but their 9 right-handed hitters against Nathan Eovaldi just sounds awesome. 26% Ks, 2% walks, a 22 ISO, 186 WOBA, 57% ground balls, and his whiff rate is like 26% with only 4.5% barrels against right-handed hitters this season. Nathan Eovaldi has pitched at least 6 innings in 5 straight games. He's pitched awesome. This is just an incredible spot for Eovaldi. Like, don't overthink this one. I know that we have plenty of pitching to play today. That's great. Play some of those pitchers too, but don't overthink this. This is an incredible spot. Jacob deGrom just absolutely dominated this offense on Thursday. Eovaldi has a chance to do it back-to-back games. They're just too right-handed heavy, and they're getting Carantini in there every once in a while to get one lefty bat in there. Nope. Alvarez is still a few days away. He might play this weekend, but I highly doubt he plays in this game. Even if he does, I'm in on Eovaldi here. I'm just in. As far as the bats, I don't like anything for Houston. I'm just going to play Eovaldi. They don't have the left-handed power to take advantage of his weakness. So that's one of the reasons that I just absolutely love this spot for him. Lance McCullers, I'll stack Texas. I think Texas is very viable as a stack here. Just hoping that he just doesn't have his stuff back yet. He got hit so hard last time out. Wyatt Langford, Josh Smith is back. That's great. Garcia has more upside against right-handed pitching than he does against left-handed pitching. Josh Jung has been awesome. Carter should be in there. He has some upside. Jock Peterson is starting to remember how to hit a baseball, and he's really cheap. So you could potentially take some shots on Jock Jams. I like Texas today for sure. Minnesota at Milwaukee, 7.5 total in this game. Pick'em game. We got Joe Ryan going up against Chad Patrick. I almost forgot. Like, I just looked at it and I looked up to, and I almost forgot who it was. I literally looked right. Man, don't you hate when you do that? Getting old is fun. Starting here with the visiting pitcher, Joe Ryan. I don't necessarily love or hate this spot for him. His strikeout stuff has been awesome. His command this season has been awesome. His walk rate is extremely low. It's like 2.8%. He's done a really good job of limiting the power. He's just a fly ball pitcher, which is always concerning. He probably goes out there and gets 6, 7, 8, 9 strikeouts against Milwaukee on this slate. So, that there's plenty of upside in taking some shots on Joe Ryan. It would be very hard night before for me to rank my top 10 pitchers. There's so many pitchers I like on this slate, so not too concerned about the last time out for Joe Ryan. He only went 76 pitches. He was dealing with an illness. He dominated. So, he's just his command. Like he's just pitching with a ton of command right now. So, I definitely see taking some shots on him. Other side of this one, this Chad Patrick spot might be sneaky good, and it might not look sneaky good night before, but there was a huge collision between Byron Buxton and Carlos Correa during the game on Thursday, and both of them got put in concussion protocol. So I don't think either one of them play. They're already dealing with Ty France dealing with a foot injury, and Bader was dealing with like groin. I think it was groin. So night before you look at this matchup and you're like, Stevie, what are you talking about? But this lineup might come out and just be atrociously bad. It just might be a terrible looking lineup with like Larnick, Brooks Lee, Royce Lewis as like the top end hitters in this lineup. Like they might have to play like Cody Clemens. They might, it just might be a really, really bad lineup. So I wanted to bring Patrick up because of the potential lineup here. You're going to have to adjust to this. An 8:00 game. You should get the lineup plenty of time to make some decisions about this, but I made sure to make a note of Patrick in my notes today because the lineup just might be really bad for Minnesota. So watch that. As far as the Minnesota bats, I mean, if I was going to pick on Chad Patrick, it'd be lefty power. So maybe Larnick, but that's really it for me. 80 degrees, winds out at 18 mile an hour in Kansas City. I really don't look at the weather typically the night before for what it's worth. I mean, power to you. So definitely see what Roth has to say. That could be really good hitting conditions in that game. Might bump up a little bit of exposure in that game for me. Might bump down a little bit of exposure that I have to like a Cole Reagans. Milwaukee bats. I mean, one of the reasons that I don't mind Joe Ryan here is like this lineup's beatable. Yelich has upside against anybody. That's really it. I mean, you can always play Jackson Trio, but I think I'm gonna respect how well Joe Ryan's pitching this year, and just stay away from Milwaukee bats and play some Joe Ryan. I like my pitching pool is going to be massively big, and my hitting pool is going to be really small. So I like slates like this where I can really mix up my pitching and like have like 5 stacks that I have at like 20% at 5-man stacks, and just kind of let the lineup HQ build it out. Colorado at Arizona is where we go next. This game does not have a total yet, so we'll have to kind of see. I know it's probably because Tanner Gordon is supposed to pitch in this one, so we'll see. But it's Corbin Burns and Tanner Gordon facing off against each other here. We've seen Tanner Gordon a little bit last season. We saw him pitch last time out against Detroit, right? So last year he was very underwhelming. We didn't see a lot of upside from him. He sat at like 16% Ks, really struggled to both sides of the plate. Very typical for a young pitcher in Coors, I feel like. But I mean, this guy has been around like for a while. He's not like this huge prospect. He's been around. He's been pitching in AAA and just the minors forever. I mean, he's been around for a while. So looking at his stats from this year in AAA, he's really struggled. I'm surprised when guys that have struggled this much get the call up, but it's like, all right, well, it's the Rockies, so it doesn't really shock me too much. But he has struggled with fly balls. He struggled with home runs. He doesn't have a big strikeout rate at 15% in the minors this year. So you probably already knew that this was coming, but I love Arizona today. Arizona and the Dodgers just in a league of their own for me today. I know I talked about Texas. I like Texas. I talked about the Yankees. I don't mind them, but Arizona and the Dodgers are going to be by far my 2 highest owned teams on this slate. 2 of the worst bullpens in baseball against 2 of the best offensives in baseball. Just don't overthink this spot. There's so much pitching. It's not hard to make it work. As far as Corbin Burns, I like Corbin Burns today. I'll play anybody against this team. Let's be honest. They're just so bad. This is a historically bad lineup. A little bit of positive regression potentially coming for Corbin Burns on his strikeout numbers. I think they'll come up a little bit. but I mean, he can go out there and get 5 to 8 strikeouts against the Rockies. This lineup is just it's so bad. It's so bad. So yeah, I mean, I like Burns. I think if Burns starts to get really chalky on this slate, though, you could definitely go underweight. There are so many pitchers to like on this one. No interest in the Rockies bats. If anybody, Ryan McMahon, but I don't think I'll do it. Love Arizona. Absolutely love this spot for them. Marte, Carroll, Naylor, Gurriel, Suarez, Pavin Smith, Perdomo, everybody. I like Arizona a lot. Seattle at San Diego. No total in this one. I was trying to find out why there wasn't a total for this one. I know maybe because of the young pitcher, Kolek pitching, but anyway. We got Diaz against Kolek in this one. Jonathan Diaz, a lefty here. I don't know how deep they'll let him pitch. It really, I mean, they sent him down to kind of stretch him out a little bit, but I don't think that he'll pitch deep in this game. We saw him a little bit over the years, but not really a ton. Yeah, I mean, he has some decent strikeout stuff, but I don't know. Like in AAA this season alone, he's sitting at 19.9% Ks, 1.47 home run per nine in his 6 starts that he made down in AAA, getting ramped up. So, I mean, he is stretched out. I just don't expect him to pitch very deep in this one. And I mean, the matchup is not the best matchup in the world against San Diego. Definitely prefer left-handed pitching against this team, but I don't think this is the spot I want to play Diaz. The other side of this one, we got Steven Kolek. Just how bad are the Rockies? Listen, I understand that Steven Kolek is a solid prospect and he has upside. I get that. But man, oh man, he went into Coors and absolutely dominated this team. I guess he's not a prospect anymore because he's gotten to the point where he's so much older. He's not on prospects list anymore. But we saw Kolek pitch a little bit last year. He was a below average strikeout guy. Even in AAA, he's been a below average strikeout guy. Really just haven't seen the strikeout upside from him. I hope people are on him in this spot because of what he did last time out, and it just kind of shows you how bad the Rockies are. He's had 2 really good matchups to start the season. He had Pittsburgh, and then he just dominated in Coors last time out. But this is a much different spot. I talk about it on the podcast all the time. Seattle, they started the season, it was looking like they might be awful against right-handed pitching, but they're 4th in WRC plus now. They are 8th in WOBA, and they're currently 10th in ISO. So there's still a little bit of strikeout upside in this lineup, but I think this is a spot that you were like, awesome job last time out against Kolek, or for Kolek, in a 21-0 win against the Rockies, but I don't think you want to play him today. I think there's better options. Seattle bats, I mean, Polanco's been awesome this year. Very underrated just in general. So I definitely don't mind Polanco. Cal Riley has been awesome. Rowdy Tellez makes the stack a little bit easier to make it work because he's just 2.7K and he has plenty of power still against right-handed pitching. I forget what was it. I think it was Wednesday. Mastrobuoni hit leadoff. So if JP Crawford doesn't play, I know it was like shoulder tightness, so he might be back. But if he's out, Mastrobuoni at 2.5K hitting leadoff would be solid play here for me. So I definitely have some interest in the Mariners in this one. I don't know. I don't think I want to look too much into the starts, and looking at his AAA stats, it just doesn't look like he doesn't look like he's going to be this like dominant pitcher. Diaz here. I mean, listen, lefties against this team definitely prefer them, but Machado is really good against left-handed pitching. Jackson Merrill is really good lefty. He's really expensive. No one's playing him today at 6.1K. So I like Machado. I like the idea of maybe getting a little bit of exposure to Merrill. Since beginning of last season, Merrill 171 ISO, 312 WOBA, 13% Ks against left-handed pitching. So he's been really solid against lefties. That's really it for me. I don't have a ton of interest. You could always play Tatis. He's just better against right-handed pitching than he is against left-handed pitching. Xander Bogaerts is better against right-handed pitching than he is against left-handed pitching. If they do catch Maldonado, he's not going to hit in a good spot, but he definitely hits left-handed pitching way better than he hits right-handed pitching, so you could potentially take it. All right, we got Angels, Dodgers, Battle of LA, 9 total in this game. The Dodgers, a 300 favorite. It probably is not high enough. Jack Kowanovic against Dustin May in this one. No, not playing Kowanovic here against one of the best, if not the best offense in baseball. He's not a good pitcher, 13% Ks. You have to be able to attack this lineup. The lefties are going to eat this guy alive. Angels have the worst bullpen in baseball. We'll talk about the bats in just a second. Let's talk about Dustin May on the other side here. He's a below average strikeout pitcher. We're finally starting to see him get stretched out a little bit, but no, probably not going to do it. This is just a spot I want to stay away from. Dustin May, I like picking on the Angels. I think that you could always pick on the Angels, but I don't think this is a spot I would do it personally. As far as the Angels bats, I think this game has some potential fireworks. I really do. So I don't mind Moncada, Soler, Neto. I don't think I'd stack the Angels, but I think the LA Angel mini is not the craziest idea today. As far as Dodgers, love Dodgers. Everything. Ohtani, I think, is the best hitter on the slate today. I'll start with that. I think this is an excellent spot for Freddie Freeman. If Conforto's in the lineup, he's fine at 3K. Max Muncy's actually finally been hitting the baseball, so maybe we could take some shots on him. I hope Dalton Rushing is back in the lineup today because they did designate Austin Barnes, so maybe Rushing gets some potential starts, and Will Smith maybe, but it's just they're gonna probably gonna DH Ohtani. So I don't necessarily think Rushing will play over Will Smith in this game, but I would love it because he's 2.3K. This is their top prospect. They have said in the past that he can play the outfield, so it's really interesting to see if they will play him in the outfield. But this dude he has power. So Yeezy, yeah. I mean, they did say he may play in the outfield. So I hope we get it. Here, Rushing in the lineup at 2.3K. Him is 2.4K. We have some cheap Dodgers. It's not going to be hard to stack the Dodgers with Ohtani and Freeman and these bats. I mean, you can play Ohtani and Freeman and get 3 of the cheap bats and get 2 really good pitchers. And Ohtani's 6.5 and Freeman's 6.2. The value, there's just so much value, and they just all hit. They all keep hitting. So yeah, I mean, they also have, isn't Outman back too at 2.1K? So we're going to get some cheap outfielders here. Whether Conforto plays, maybe they give Paez a day off here. Maybe they give Paez a day off and we get Rushing in the outfield and get a 2.3 catcher. Man, a 2.3 catcher in a Dodgers stack just sounds awesome. The fact this game's at 10 o'clock and the lineup is going to be out right around lock, if not after lock, is great. I'm in on the Dodgers. Like I said, they're my favorite stack today. I like Arizona a lot too, but Dodgers, they're my favorite stack. Athletics at San Francisco is where we finish. I feel like I did pretty good for a 12-game slate. I'm under an hour with a game to go. I feel like that's super solid. Appreciate you all. Thanks for hanging out. I love talking baseball. I really just I can't tell you how much I love talking baseball. So it's always fun to come on and do the podcast and hang out with everybody in chat. JP Sears, Logan Webb, 7.5 total. Giants, a 172 favorite in this one. I think a lot of that favorite just kind of goes to JP Sears more than anything else. JP Sears really solid against lefties, still struggling to miss right-handed bats. So I think JP Sears long term might actually be an okay real life baseball pitcher, but he's not the best like tournament or DFS pitcher. That's what I was trying to say. Decent real life pitcher, maybe not the best DFS pitcher. I don't think this is a spot I would play. James Outman just hit a home run. That's hilarious. Derek, that was for you, Derek. He was listening in the dugout and he's like, "Oh man, Derek just mushed me. I'm going yard." Yeah, I don't want to play Sears in this spot. And like I think San Francisco is a really solid team against left-handed pitching. So Logan Webb. I mean, I think Logan Webb is solid. Like I've talked about it a lot this year. I think his strikeout rate is up for a lot of good reasons. I don't think that it's a fluke. He is pitching a lot better than he did last year. I mean, so it's just really good. His ground ball rate is great, like it was, but his strikeout rate is in the top 15 percentile, and a lot of it is fastball. Like his sinker is really good. And I mean, it's done really well. His sweeper and his changeup have a huge whiff rate on it. So yeah, I mean, I think Logan Webb 9,700 is another pitcher in our player pool. I'll go through and try to narrow down this player pool a little bit. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. See, I have 13 pitchers that I wrote down that are potentially in play today. So I'll go through this and definitely try to get that down to probably like 7 or 8 for a 20 entry max. Once I start looking at ownership and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, Webb's fine. Athletics on the road. I mean, there's some strikeout upside in this lineup, but I mean, as far as like the actual Athletics lineup for bats, one thing I've noticed about the Athletics is they hit fly ball pitchers a little bit better than ground ball pitchers. So I think that's where Webb has a huge advantage here. If you're going to play some Athletics like Soderstrom, Roker, Langoliers, Butler, all in play. Hey, Kurtz hit his first home run the other night. That was really cool. I was watching the game. I'm happy for them. I hate watching young hitters struggle when they first get called up, and I was really happy for Nick Kurtz the other night in LA to do it against the Dodgers. The other side here, San Francisco against lefties. I mean, it's always like Wilmer Flores, Ramos, Mateos, Chapman. I think San Francisco is a team you could play some mini stacks of. What I might do in like a 20 entry max build today is just play like 5-man stacks of the Dodgers, Arizona, Seattle, maybe Texas, maybe like the Yankees. So I might do like 30% Dodgers, Arizona in my 20 entry max of those two teams, and just kind of see how it plays out. That's how much I like the Dodgers in Arizona today, and like just let the pitching play out, kind of max my pitching at like 35%, narrow down my pool. It'd be fun. It really seems like an awesome slate for DFS baseball. It is a potential slate for sure. I'm gonna have time too, which is always fun to build some lineups. All right. That's it. Morning grind game, right? Yeah, morning grind game. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button over there on YouTube. We are closing in on 2,000 subscribers over there on YouTube. Maybe I'll do I'll do something. I haven't thought about it yet because I just now thought about it, but maybe I'll give away like a minor league baseball hat or something. That'd be fun. I'll have more on that next week, but let's get to 2,000 subscribers over there on YouTube. Make sure you turn on those notifications, and I think I might do that. That might be fun, right? If we do do a giveaway with a minor league baseball hat. Not one of mine. Can't have one of mine. But we'll do one where I'll order a minor league baseball hat for somebody. All right. Let's play the morning grind game. I closed out of DK, so give me 2 seconds here. All right, under 8K to get 6 or more strikeouts. I think we have a lot of options on this question today. I am going to go. I really think the Minnesota lineup is going to be really bad today. So I'm going to go Chad Patrick to get 6 or more strikeouts. I think the lineup is going to be really bad for Minnesota today because of the concussion protocols and the injuries and stuff. Over 8K to score under 15, my bust pitcher today. Man, a lot of good options up here today. A lot of good options. I think a lot of these guys potentially hit that mark. Man, there's a lot of good pitchers up here today. I think I have to go Max Meyer just because of the options. And I think Max Meyer is in play today, but man, like I like Gore, I like Sale, I like Burns, I like Reagans, I like Ryan, I like Webb. I mean, this slate is just this pitching slate is awesome. This is one of the best pitching slates that we've had. If we could have had like 2 or 3 of these guys like spread out over the last 3 days, it'd been fantastic, but it is what it is. Over 4K to hit a home run. Listen, I think Ohtani has the best chance to go yard today. I just want to say that. Like, I think he has by far the best chance to go yard today. With that said, I'm going to go Corbin Carroll to hit his 15th home run of the season. He's healthy. He looks awesome. I love this spot for him against Gordon. Under 4K to score 10 plus points. I mean, there are so many potential Dodger plays here. I'm going to go with Max Muncy, who finally seems like he's starting to get it going at the plate. So that's really good. So give me Max Muncy. I really wanted to take like rushing, but I just don't know if he's going to be in the lineup. Stack to score 6 or more runs. Again, the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks are my 2 favorite stacks on this slate by far. But for the sake of the game, picking somebody else is always fun. Let's go Texas. Let's say Lance McCullers is not back fully yet, and Texas gets on Lance McCullers here. So give me the Rangers to score 6 or more runs. Again, I really like the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. By far my 2 favorite stacks on this one. So just want to throw that out there. All right, no 3-pick parlay, but I did pull up Prize Picks, and they had some stuff already going over there that I liked. So we're gonna jump on that really quick. I just gotta wait for it to load again. Hold on 1 second here. All right, so I was kind of building this as we were going here. All right. I'm trying to find. There's so much that I like today. They don't have my guy on here. Hold on 1 second. Trying to get a. I'm usually here at times. I don't really talk a lot. Just want to say thanks for the breakdown. Well, William, thank you. I appreciate everyone being here. I enjoy doing this so much. I really do. All right, I got 4. I'm trying to find one more. Sorry. I'm not delaying. I like to do a 5-pick play over there on. I wanted to get something with Eovaldi, but they only have like his like Goblin or what is it, Goblin or Gremlin or whatever it is over there. Do they have all right, I got it. We got it. All right. We're in. We got Mackenzie Gore, more than 6.5 strikeouts. Josh Naylor, more than 5.5 fantasy score. Corbin Carroll, more than 8.5 fantasy score. Otani, more than 1.5 total bases. And Chad Patrick, more than 4 strikeouts. So that's my morning grind 5-pick play over there on Prize Picks. Appreciate everyone. Hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. I am uncertain I will be back for Sunday night. The NASCAR All-Star race is Sunday night, so I don't know if I'm going to do a podcast yet or not. But I definitely will be back next week at some point. So appreciate everyone. Thanks for hanging out. Again, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, do it. And I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend.